Hello, YouTube. I did a video once on my hammock setup where I described it from the inside. I don't think I've done one describing it from the outside. So in case anybody's curious, this is my hammock setup. This is all homemade stuff except for some of the hardware I bought from Dutchware Gear in Pennsylvania. It's got great stuff. So what you see here is you can see the tarp above everything and my underquilt under everything, and the white is the bug net that goes over the hammock. You really don't see the hammock too much, but the setup of it, I'm using a whoopee sling with a reverse setup to my original setup. So the hammock itself just has these short little continuous loops on it, and the whoopee slings are connected permanently all the time, which is what permanently means. They're connected to the tree straps. I leave them connected there. So the tree straps, in case you're unfamiliar with hammocking, the tree straps go around the tree and protect the bark, because these thin little cords would cut right through the bark and damage the tree. So the whoopee sling is also, if you're unfamiliar, it's like a Chinese finger type setup. I don't know if the camera will focus on it. The one end of the cord goes in through the center of the end that's connected to the tree, and you can loosen up the Chinese finger trap and pull on the tag end to tighten it, make it shorter, or pull on the loop end to make it longer. And by doing that, you have, sort of infinite adjustability. Same thing on the other end. And then just at the end of the whoopee slings, at the loop end, there are these little titanium, I think he calls them Dutch hooks. I think that's what these ones are called. But the cordage just kind of clips in there, kind of locks in. It's got sort of a tightened down, a necked down shape in the throat of it here, so it snugs down and kind of snaps in place. The underquilt is on shock cord, and the shock cord terminates in a little bit of this 330 cord, and the 330 cord hooks right into the Dutch hook. So it's got a little bit of give to it, a little bit of adjustability in the length, but pretty much it is set up to be the length of this hammock, which is another benefit of these Dutch hooks being on the tree end as opposed to on the hammock end where I originally had them, is that this length is fixed. This never changes. I have a ridge line in here, and this is an adjustable ridge line, but I haven't moved it in a very, very long time. So I actually could replace it with a fixed one if I was ever in the mood to play with the Dyneema cord again, and I am sometimes. So the way that the underquilt works, this is just a throw. They call it a throw. It's a down sort of quilt that you have for your living room. It's not super warm, and it's folded over and sewn sewed a channel into it. You can sort of see here, and these suspension cords go from end to end on both sides. And then it's also sewn over here at the end of it, and at the gather, at the head and the foot. And these tension cords go through the head and the toe, and I can tension them with these cord locks here. I can make it more or less tight against my feet or head if it's colder out. I've never really found the need to adjust them since I've put them on there. And then these cord locks adjust the position of the underquilt, so I can move it up or down by sliding these up. There's one on each side. At each end, there's the same setup over there. So that's how I slide the underquilt into position fore and aft. So that's a pretty good setup. I like that a lot. The top quilt is the same kind of throw. There's a tutorial online for making these homemade ones. They call them a Costco quilt, something, I forget exactly what the hack is called, but they call them that because you could get these set of underquilts, 2 of them at Costco for like $60 a couple years ago. I got them on Amazon. They're the exact same thing, as far as I can tell, as what they sell at Costco. So they're a very cost-effective way if you want to do a little bit of sewing and save some money. I keep an inflatable pillow in here, and I don't blow it up much. It doesn't need much in the hammock. It's actually pretty lightly inflated. The tarp is on this Zing It or Lash It. It's also Dyneema, but it's like really thin, really tiny stuff. And this little hook, I forget what Dutch calls this. This is another Dutch wear gear component. It's just like the Dutch hooks, only tiny for this Zing It. So that's just kind of clips in at that end. And this end is not adjustable. The other end is. And I forget what they recommend you make these things, but I made them about 10 or 15 feet longer than they recommended because I wanted to be able to go around some really distant trees. My light on my phone just turned off. My phone got too hot. And I'm glad it did, because these trees are nice and far apart here. I was seeing, I could have gone closer with some other trees. I just was testing the limits of these. So on this end, it just loops around the tree, and there's this adjustable, oh, there's the light. This adjustable device that Dutch makes, calls it a wasp. And this thing is just lovely. With these 2 holes that go through it on this one my thumb is on and the one to the right, you can slide it up and down the cord, and then when you wrap around the tree, you bite it into that little sort of beak looking part and up under the antenna part, and then under the wing, and the wing locks it in. And this is very, very secure. There's also another little loop you have to do to lock it in place so it doesn't slide up and down the cord. You can sort of see that here. There's lots of tutorials on how to do that. I won't go through that, but that's how you make the tarp ridgeline adjustable and how you secure it to the tree. And then the tarp itself has tie-outs on it. This is also homemade. We made this out of some sil nylon. Come on, focus. It's got these, I believe they're called prusik knots here. You wrap them around a few times, and you can slide them up and down this by relieving the tension on them. But as soon as you put tension on them, they don't want to slide anywhere. And I'm told they work better when the cord that they're on, the ridge line, is twice the size. That's not the case here. They work just fine, but I would like to try a thicker ridge line just to see if they're easier to slide, because when they slide, they get hot. They kind of give your fingers a Indian sunburn. And then, so for the tie-outs here, I've got some shock cord there. And this black shock cord is a lot better than the white stuff I have on my underquilt. This is good stuff. It doesn't degrade in the sun like the other one does, the white stuff does. I splurged and I got titanium tent pegs for down here. And I got the bright orange tie-outs, reflective tie-outs, so I don't trip on them. I got to retie that one, in fact. And then these yellow cords, this is adjustable. It's got 2 fixed loops, one at each end, obviously. And it passes through these cool little Dutch wear doodads. It's just like a little spike with 2 holes in it and a little bit of a neck down. These are aluminum, these aren't titanium. So you put one end through the shock cord and you tie them in place. And the other end, this cord just passes through the other hole, and you loop it over the tent peg here, and you pull this end to tension everything. And when you're happy with the tension, you just put a half hitch over that little spike, and the neck down holds it in place. And it doesn't look like it would be secure, but it is. I've never had a problem with this. These are great. And they even stay put, even without tension on them. That's how come I got the tarp folded back. All I got to do is fold it back over itself, throw it back where it belongs, and find this end and just loop that over the tent peg, and it's back to its setup. So that's pretty much it. I got might be a little hard to see. I've got a bag in here. It slings over the ridge line. It stays in there. It's got a hole at one end. I put my water bottle into at night, and then it's got pockets down here. This is pretty cool. It works all right. I think I need to make a version 2 of this, because the problem with this is the pockets are at the bottom, and so is my water bottle. So the bottle pushes the pockets into a curve, and it doesn't want to hold flat things like my phone, which is what I really wanted it for. So that's about it. Yeah, I think that is about it. That's my setup. Easy up, very, very comfortable. The whole thing for me is all about comfort. Tarps and tents might be a little quicker to set up. They might be a little smaller to pack down. I don't think so. This stuff packs down real well for me. But nothing beats the comfort of a hammock. Not a inflatable mattress, not a cot, not my bed at home. The tarp is, the hammock is where it's at for comfort. All right, thanks for watching. Have fun. Get out in the woods.